Good morning. Yesterday we started talking about character development as a central core of developing your novel, first novel or your 100th novel. It makes no difference. Now, when you're looking at characters, what I do is often I'll start with me. What do I need? What do I want? What's been heartbreaking for me? What's been happy for me? Am I cold? I'm a little chilly right now, sitting up here in my work attic, so what's been heartbreaking? I won't go into details, but that's been heartbreaking. That's Carmel Murray. We were supposed to get married last Easter, and she has early onset Alzheimer's. She's in a nursing home about 7 hours north of me, and, well, it's heartbreaking. What's happy? That's another picture of Carmel with Ted Kennedy. I'm so proud of her, and look at that smile on her face. Man, was she happy. I think that was taken, 20 years ago? In Boston. Yeah, she was in Boston for a long time, dual national, just like me. Now, where do we start? Well, first, let's look at some people that, famous people. Okay, Indiana Jones. Look at the character development with this guy. What does he want? Whatever mission, whatever archaeological find he wants to make, whether it's a skull or whatever. What's he afraid of? Snakes, right? Okay, that makes an interesting start. Jack, well, we all know about Captain Sparrow. Vito Corleone. Now, there is one heck of a character. And Puzo, wrote him in his book, The Godfather, and, they based the film on that book. What's Vito want? He wants to protect his family and help those who are loyal to him. He's not a single string character at all, but that's what drives the man, etc. Okay, I won't go through all these, but Sarah Connor, think about her. All she wants to do is save the earth and her son, who's important to her. Okay, because he also saves the earth eventually. All right, from robots or whatever. Okay, so again, this is going to be a very brief discussion. I've got to scroll down a little bit here. All right, try to make this so you can read it, and I'll read it with you. So, character development. Let's say your novel's initial premise, what your story is about, is something like this. This is very short, okay, folks? Very, very short premise. We'll call this guy Jake. He's a talkative but lonely man in his 50s, wants to find love again after divorcing a woman he'd been with for over 30 years. When Jake meets Dorothy in her late 40s, magic ensues. They discover that they have much in common. But Dorothy, who wants to marry again, finds that Jake won't take the plunge because he's scared to do so. For that, he's been hurt so much from the divorce. He doesn't want to get married again or really have a relationship. For that reason, she leaves the relationship. Jake, who is disconsolate and upset, begs her to come back to him. When she won't, he discovers that she has cancer. Or that he has cancer. So Jake has cancer. Dorothy, who truly loves him, finally comes back to him. They marry with Jake on his deathbed, but magic ensues again. As he dies, Jake discovers that Dorothy is actually an angel who had come to him to make his last year of life a loving time. She broke up with him so that he would have time to live on his own and discover what made him happy. Now, as you can see, that talks about Jake only. And, I'm concentrating just on this male protagonist. I could have started with the female protagonist. I often do. Dolphin Song. Dolphin Song is Dawn's novel. She's the one who learns the most. She has the most action in the book and in the screenplay. It's her novel. It's her book. Right now, because I've just started this, I'm not sure whose book this would be. All right? I think it's Jake's, but I don't know. Okay, so let's keep going. All right. So she broke up so he would have time to live on his own and discover what made him happy. So let's look at Jake. So we know he's in his 50s, or we think so at this point. He's a white guy like I am. He's from New York City, and he's Polish. He tells great Polish jokes, so he gets everybody to laugh around him. He's a non-churchgoer, a guy who used to love his life, but his heart was broken when his ex-wife left him. To fill the hole in his heart, he goes to dance classes. There he meets Dorothy. It never occurs to him that when she dances with him, nobody can see her but him. This is based in part on my Uncle Johnny from New Jersey. Dorothy is based on my Aunt Bobby. Both of them, my aunt and uncle, have passed on. Bobby is full of fun, life, and mischief. Perfect as a template for Dorothy because Bobby is also a church goer. In this case, she's Catholic. And an angel to everyone she meets. Yeah. See? Now, this is what's interesting for me. As he dies, Jake discovers that Dorothy is actually an angel, a real angel, who had come to him to make his last year of life of a loving time. She broke up with him so that he would have time to live on his own and discover what made him happy. And that is a source of conflict. That's a source of major conflict. What's he going to do? And that's how you start a novel. I start a novel in two ways. I look at the premise, something like a log line. I mean, 20, 25, 30 words with the name of the character, the major character in it, say Dawn, and the conflict. What's the conflict? The central conflict in this is that the central conflict for Jake is that he wants to have a relationship. And he may want to get married. All right? But Dorothy leaves him. So in my mind's eye, I can already see how, he would try to get her back. And maybe that's when this angelic stuff can start to happen. That prolongs the conflict maybe, or resolves the conflict. Like what? Like Jake runs over to Dorothy's apartment upset. She's just broken up with him. He bangs on the door. She told her, she told him that she lives in, apartment 27, apartment 27, East Meadow Street, New York City. I don't know, wherever. Okay? So he goes running up to the apartment 27. He's about to bang on the door. He does bang on the door, and it opens, and an old woman is standing there. She looks sort of like Dorothy, but she's 75 or 80. And he thinks he asks, where's Dorothy? And she says, well, my name's Dorothy, but who are you? And so this is where, what's the word? Irony sets in, okay? We know that she's Dorothy. Dorothy knows that she's Dorothy, okay? Jake hasn't a clue. And that's how you start to tease out your plot. You start it with a character. You start it with somebody you know. I mean, I based Jake, I will base him on my Uncle Johnny. Johnny was something else. I mean, he was a great man. And I write this in, I try to write this actively. So it's in present tense. Everybody's alive. If they're alive, they start to come off the page for you. And when they're alive, you can work with them. You're living their life's experience. And that's what you have to do. If you can relate to the characters and the plot and the world that you're creating, then the people that read that, even if it's a draft, even if it's one chapter, they'll relate to the character too. I guess the secret is you've got to love the good characters. And you've almost got to love to hate the bad characters. Like that guy. I mean, he's a baddie, isn't he? But you love him. How many characters do we know that we hate when we see him in a book or read him in a book or on screen? But we love to hate him. And that's what you've got to do. That's the starting point. Okay? There we go. That's your first real lesson. Have fun writing. Remember, it's a job. I'm going to get back to it now. I got to write. I'll write for an hour. It's a bank holiday here, so we get today off. It's Monday. It's Monday, the 6th of February, 2023. And it's miserable outside again, and I was going to go golfing again. And no way, Jose. I'm going to sit here, and I'm probably going to take a nap because I'm tired, man, and take today off. All right. Talk later. Tom Richards, over and out.